so glad to have you here, Nikki.
Yes, thank you so much. I love that you guys are talking about authenticity, and that is so important. So grateful to
Yeah,
be here.
I'm excited to have you here. So I'm going to turn the stage over to you, and I'm glad you're here.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for
Thank
having me,
you.
Haley.
So
Yeah.
happy. Whoops. No, you're supposed to be the one here.
No problem, no problem. Thank you guys for being here. And I am Nikki Speer. Most importantly, I am a wife to my husband, Jared, for 17 years, and I have three amazing teenagers, and that is such a blessing. What I do, I'm a co-founder of a nonprofit, and I'm also a podcast host, but I came here today really to just share a story with you. My talk is about thriving daily, but I can only share about thriving daily because I didn't prior to a couple of years ago. And so here's my story. In 2015, after moving from Mississippi to North Carolina, life was really great. My husband had gotten a great job here, and we were a little bit closer to New York. It's where my family's originally from. So Mississippi is so far away. But life was good until it wasn't. Until my mom called and said that the cancer had returned after the third time, after many surgeries and treatments and all of that. And so life kind of crumbled a little bit that day. And my husband told me, that I should go visit my mom. So in October 2015, I flew to New York. And in those moments, seeing my mom of just real desperation, I guess. Her body was ravaged by breast cancer from the bottom of her neck to the bottom of her torso. It had come back just with a vengeance, and she did not feel beautiful anymore. No hair, no eyebrows, skin was just a mess. She had a bigger belly from chemotherapy and bigger arms from lymphedema. And like my mom did, she wanted to go shopping and she wanted to enjoy the day. They said that she had about 3 to 6 months to live at this point, and we wanted to make the most of the life that she had left. So we went shopping, but unfortunately, there was really nothing for her to wear in this body that she had. So I simply made a promise that I would design clothing for her that day. So when I got home, after designing this shirt that I designed in the airport and just all of this big promise that I made to this beautiful woman, that is my mom, I talked to everyone that I knew. I just did all the things, stayed up late, talked to everyone, emailed, researched, woke up early, and tried to design this shirt. And 70 days later, my mom passed away. And so the grief just really filled my heart and my mind and my body, but it didn't stop the promise that I had for her. So I neglected a lot of things. I neglected my health. I neglected my marriage, my three children, just really had zero boundaries. And I don't know if anyone can relate to this. And I may just be talking to myself, but I know a lot of us, when we have a dream or a goal, we just set out to do that thing. And sometimes we forget to place boundaries on our lives. And so fast forward to 2017, when I had gone to a networking group and I met this woman, very, very kind, and we decided to meet for coffee. It was a 45-minute drive. So I drove 45 minutes to meet with this woman, and she talked about herself the entire time. It was not a give and take conversation. I was completely exhausted. I got back in my car and I drove 45 minutes home. And that is the day that I knew that everything must change. I walked in the door, took off my shoes, got into my bed, and cried myself to sleep. Life was not going to be what I thought it was if I continued on this path. And that seems quite dramatic, but really, if you have lost someone and you have gone through the grief process, no matter what that looks like, whether that's a death or divorce or whatever it might look like, grief plays a big role in things. So I think my body had just had enough. So what did I learn? And that night, I apologized to my husband for the last 2 years of what our lives had kind of unraveled after just having an incredible journey here from New York to Mississippi to North Carolina, and just really have an amazing life with our children, and me just kind of unraveling it a little bit with this promise that I had to keep to my mom, who is no longer here. So I picked up some of those pieces and I apologized to my family and knew that I had to take responsibility for the priorities that were first and foremost, which is my marriage and my children, and then this dream. So who am I today? Today, our nonprofit is thriving, and I'm so incredibly grateful. And I believe that it grew because I took this step to learn what it meant not to have to meet with everybody. My availability isn't for everybody. My time isn't everybody's. I set clear boundaries and schedule appointments Monday through Thursday. I get to have opportunities like this to share our story and to learn and glean wisdom from other people in different groups when it is beneficial as well for my schedule and my health. I started to get clear on my message, and I formed a team of women that could help do some of the tasks with me. And so it wasn't just me doing all the things. I started batch working, and I started getting up early and praying and moving my body for 30 minutes and showering and getting ready for my day. I know that always helps me to feel a little more successful. So that is really just an amazing thing, setting intentions and then writing out. And I do this still to this day, writing out my schedule the night before, looking at my phone and all the things that I need to do, and then just write that out. So it's in a form that I can kind of comprehend when there's a lot of things going on. And so I share all of this with you because I know how it changed my life. And I know as women, sometimes we need hacks and we need actionable steps to be able to move forward and grow. And hopefully you can take one thing from what I said. And I just wanted to give you a few actionable steps before I leave you all, and one is get a calendar app. If you do not have one, you are doing yourself a disservice. I use Calendly. It's how I schedule my appointments. It's how I schedule my podcast interviews. And it's just really great because you can set the times on the days and people can just connect with you that way. And it goes right onto your calendar. So it's just really an amazing way to set your day or your week. And also, I set out my work and my workout clothes the night before. I have 2 chairs in my room. And so I simply just take out my outfits after I write down my schedule. I take out my outfits for the day so that I know exactly what I'm going to be wearing. And so I know that I'm forced to move my body because my clothes are already set out. And like I said, I take 15 minutes at the end of the night and write out my schedule. Sometimes there's more things that I really need to do, but I try to highlight 3 that absolutely have to be done that day so that I can have a clear picture and goal of what my day is going to be like. And I batch my work. So any of my podcast stuff, any of the editing or this or that, it all goes on my calendar at a certain time. And I also make sure that I am drinking my water, super important. I know that these are all things I'm sure that you ladies do because you are amazing. But drinking my water and staying hydrated definitely gives me energy and clarity for the day and the work ahead. And then I just try to make sure that my workspace is clean and tidied up for the next day as well. So those are just some actionable steps that I took to learn how to thrive daily and just, overcome some of the obstacles that I faced by allowing other people to really dictate my day and my time. And so I am grateful to be able to share that with you. And I can share a link as well with you guys for some helpful tips that I have shared with others. That's just basically thriving daily. So thank you so much for allowing me to share and my story with all of you.
Thank you so much. That is beautiful. Just beautiful. I love it.